This is part 4 of the Nerd Sidekick tutorial on working with files. In part 1, we looked at a program called File Explorer and got an orientation of the program interface. In part 2, you learned how to cut, copy, paste, move, and delete files. In part 3, we renamed files, looked at file extensions, and created folders, and then learned about organizing files with folders and libraries. You can see part 3 by clicking the link up here, or check the description below for links to all of the File Explorer tutorials. In this video, we're going to learn how to search for files on your computer. If you've ever misplaced a file and spent hours trying to find it, this video is for you. You're watching a video from the Mom and Dad Technology Tutorial Series. I'm making this Mad TNT video series for my mom, who sometimes struggles with technology. Don't get mad and blow up trying to help someone close to you. Instead, just send them this video. There's a search box right here on your Windows taskbar. But while this can help you find files on your computer, it will also give you search results from the web and things that are not related to the files on your computer that you may be searching for. Frankly, it can be confusing if all you want to do is find a file. So to find files on your computer, fire up your computer's copy of File Explorer. Click the icon down here or press the Windows key while simultaneously pressing the E key on your keyboard. Sitting quietly over here on the right of the File Explorer window is a search box. This search will help you find files on your computer or on cloud file services like OneDrive that you may have integrated with your computer. You can do a broad search and search your entire computer, or you can just search specific parts of your computer. For example, on my computer, I have several drives installed. If I didn't know which drive the file I am seeking was on, I could just click on this PC here in the navigation pane, and you see the search box reflects that any search I did would now be on this PC. If I think my file is on the C drive on my computer, I can just click the C drive here in the navigation pane, and the search box changes to show that my search would now be on the C drive only. By narrowing down your search, you will speed up your search and limit the possible number of results that you have to sift through. The C drive is currently selected, and that's what I want to search, so I click in the search box. Notice how the new Search Contextual tab appears at the top. You won't see this tab and its associated buttons on the ribbon, that's this area up here, until you click in the search box. Once you do, the Search tab appears. We'll take a look at the various buttons and what they do in this video. So I am searching the C drive, which is where the Windows operating system is normally found on PCs. I'll type Windows, and immediately you are presented with search results. You don't even have to press your Enter key. Because the word Windows is found in numerous folders and files, there are literally thousands of results. Notice down here on the left, as the computer continues searching for files, that the count of found items is quickly going up. You can see the green progress bar here in the address bar as well. With that many search results, this isn't a particularly helpful search. The search results show you files that contain the word Windows in the file name, and depending on the settings for your computer, you may see files that contain the word Windows in the contents of the file. We'll touch on that a bit later. Because this computer runs on the Windows operating system, there are thousands of files with the word Windows in the name. So let's refine our search to narrow this down. Let's say I know I have a picture somewhere on my computer with the word Windows in the file name. Up here on the ribbon, there is a grouping of commands named Refine. These commands allow you to refine the parameters of your search. For example, I'll click on the Kind button. The drop-down shows you a list of over 20 different kinds of common files, such as documents, emails, music, and more. I'll click on Picture. Immediately, a search modifier or parameter is added automatically to the existing search for the word Windows. the new search is performed, and if you look at the files in the search results, you see these are all picture files. Look here in the type column and you'll see PNG files, GIF files, JPEG files, and so on. These are all picture files. The number of search results is much more limited than our previous search. I might actually be able to find the exact file I'm trying to locate with a list that small. I can refine the search further by adding additional search parameters. Let's say I know the size of the file is a medium file, and you can see the predefined size parameters next to each size name. I can choose that from the size dropdown. That is added to the search I previously entered. So we are looking for files with the word Windows in the file name or the content of the file, and the file is a picture and the file is a medium-sized file. Take a look, we've narrowed our search and here's the file I was missing. One important note is that the searches you just watched were sped up in the video editing process. My computer is pretty fast and the drive is a high-speed NVMe drive, but it still takes a minute or so to conduct each search because we're searching an entire drive. There are ways to speed up your searches using indexes, and we'll cover that a bit later. But for now, just remember that you can make searches faster by limiting the scope or the amount of your drive that is being searched. By selecting just a specific folder or library on your drive, search speeds can improve dramatically. Let's do a new search. This time we'll limit our search to just the test files I used in the earlier videos in this tutorial. These searches will be fast because I'm searching a very small number of files. I'll click on Learning File Explorer, and you see now in the search box our search is limited to just the files in that folder. I'll type beach, and immediately we see 6 pictures in the search results. You don't see it here, but these pictures are located in 2 different folders. When you do a search, the search results are grouped together in one place, but the found items may be located in more than one folder. If we switch to the View tab and change the layout to Details, you can see the folder within which the search results were found. These pictures were found in 2 different folders, Random Stuff 1 and Random Stuff 2. Pretty ingenious folder naming, right? Anyway, I wanted you to see that search aggregates found items into a single search result, no matter where the files are located on your computer. And now we can take action on these files in one fell swoop, in spite of the fact that the files are not in the same folder. I'll highlight all 6 of these pictures and drag them to the Pictures folder. If I look in the Random Stuff 1 and 2 folders, you see the pics are no longer there. They've been moved to the Pictures folder. I'll select the Learning File Explorer folder once again. Let's search for beach again. You see the 6 pictures. If I click the Current Folder button, all the search results disappear. That's because the beach pictures are in a subfolder of the Learning File Explorer folder. There are not any pictures with the name beach in the current folder, which is Learning File Explorer, as you can see by the folder that is highlighted in the navigation pane and that appears in the address bar. If I click the All Subfolders button again, the beach pictures reappear in the search results because they're found in a subfolder of the Learning File Explorer folder. I can drag one of the pictures to the Learning File Explorer folder, then click Current Folder again, and now we see one search result because that one picture is in the Learning File Explorer folder. I'll move the picture back to the Pictures folder. If you do a search and nothing is showing up in the results, verify whether or not you are searching in subfolders. Another way to refine your search is with the date modified. Have you ever created a file or downloaded a file or copied a file or saved a file, then immediately lost the file because you didn't pay attention to where you saved it? No, I've never done that either a million times. Let's say earlier today you were working on a document and you saved the file somewhere on your hard drive, but it isn't where you thought it would be when you tried to open it. You know it's somewhere on drive C, so you click that. Click the search box, then you click on Kind and click Document. Then you click Date Modified and click Today. This is a broad search because we are searching the entire C drive. So the search may take a minute or two, but the point is that we are searching for a lost file. By searching the entire drive, we can be pretty certain the file will be there. By adding the search parameter Date Modified Today, we zero in on our missing file. I'll speed up this search in video editing. There are a number of files that match our search criteria, but here's the file I was missing. Assuming you are saving most of your files into your user file location, you can narrow your search down by choosing that first. Click on the chevron up here in the address bar next to the leftmost icon. You should see your username on this computer. If not, you may need to click the up arrow until you see desktop in the address bar. Click your username, now click the search box. Click Date Modified and click Today. And here's the file I saved into my default user document location today. A fun feature, I think it's a fun feature of the program, is the ability to quickly narrow down your results by clicking the drop-down arrows to the right of the column headers. You may not have even realized these exist. This only works in the Details view of your files. You change the view by clicking on the View tab, then click Details. If I click this drop-down arrow to the right of the Name column, I see a couple of groups of letters, A through H and I through P. I'll click I through P, and now you see the list of files has been filtered to just folders and files that begin with one of the letters, from I through P in the alphabet. When I click off the drop-down, notice a couple of things changed. First, there's a check mark where the drop-down arrow was. This lets us know that we checked something from one of the filters and it is in active use right now. Also, up in the address bar, this I through P indicator shows us the specific files we are seeing. I'll click on the check mark and check both options. Now you can see both appear in the address bar. The options that appear in the drop-down will be different depending on the data in your specific files. These options are generated on the fly by File Explorer. If I quickly copy the list of names file and rename it so the letter Z is at the beginning, notice what happens. The file disappears as soon as I rename it. I'll click the check mark again. Now there is another option in the list, Q through Z, covering the portion of the alphabet containing the new file. It is currently unchecked, which is why we can't see the file. I'll check it and immediately the file reappears. If I uncheck the first two options, we now see only the file that starts with the letter Z. I'll reset the filter. Each column of data has its own filter, and it will be a filter specific to the type of data in that column. For example, the next column is the Date Modified. When I click the drop-down arrow to the right of this column, I see what looks like a counter because, well, that's what it is. You can click on a single date or click and drag to select a range of dates. You can also choose from any predefined checkboxes that File Explorer presents to you. The Type column shows you all of the file types in this current list of files. When I click that drop down, I see a few options. If I only want to see the JPEG files, those are pictures. I just click that and now I only see the single picture. And I can filter files by size here in the size column. So that's a quick and fun way to further narrow your search results. If you find yourself doing the same search over and over again, you can save the search for use at a later time. An example of where this might come in handy would be to periodically find all of your pictures that you've downloaded so that you can do something with them, such as deleting them or moving them to your Pictures folder. By default, Windows 10 has a Downloads folder. When you download a picture from your web browser, the likelihood is that it is set to save into your downloads folder. So I'll click on the downloads folder, then click on the search box. From the kind drop-down list, I click on picture, and now I see all the pictures I have downloaded. Now I can save this search by clicking Save Search. You probably didn't realize it, but you have a searches folder in your user folder, and that's where you save this search. File Explorer suggests a name based on what was in your search, but I'll change it to Downloaded Pictures. Then click Save. To activate this search again later, I find my username in the navigation pane, click the chevron to open its contents, and find Searches. If it's not showing you the saved search, click the chevron next to the Searches heading. Then click the one you want, and immediately the search will be run and you'll see your search results. You can copy the search file to other places on your computer to make activating a search more convenient. I just right-click on the search file, then copy, then I'll right-click on the C drive and click Paste. You may have to authorize administrator access to copy the file. Now I can click on the C drive and there's the search. I click it to run the search. Back in the searches folder, I'll right-click on the search and you see one of the options is to pin to start. I'll click that, and now when I come down here and click on the Start button, we see the search is pinned to the Start button for quick access. You can remove it by right-clicking on the icon, then clicking Unpin from Start, or by going back to Searches, right-clicking the search file and click Unpin from Start. You can improve the search speed on your computer by making sure the folders and files you search most are being indexed. Windows maintains an index of files, much like the index of a book. This index may include file property information such as the file name, date, and location, plus it may include any words that are in the file contents for files like emails, documents, etc. Windows can search this index much faster than the actual files, thereby cutting the search time. By default, Windows is already indexing most of the files in your user folder, but you can add to or subtract from the indexing locations. Click the search box to activate the search ribbon. From the search ribbon, click Advanced Options and click Change Index Locations. The Index Options box will open and you'll see the current locations that Windows is indexing. At the top, you'll see exactly how many files or items are indexed. The included locations includes users because most of your documents and other user information like your music, pictures, videos, etc. are stored in the user file libraries. To modify the parts of your computer that you want to index, click the Modify button. You see a list of any drives on your computer. Now, you could check an entire drive, but I don't recommend this. Your index file does take up space on your drive. Microsoft says the size of the index itself will be around 10% of the files that you are indexing. So unless you truly need faster search for every single file on your drive, you're just wasting drive space by selecting an entire drive. Instead, drill down through your drive and choose folder locations which contain the files you work with and actually need access to the most. If you always save your files into your normal documents folder, then you won't need to add anything else to the index locations. But let's say you are saving files to a folder called Big Project. That folder is not inside your user file area, so you can check that folder and click OK. Any files in that folder will be indexed in the background, so you can continue working and Windows will index the files automatically. Any new files that you add to an index location are automatically indexed as well. You can take greater control over the indexing process by clicking the Advanced button. There are two tabs with controls on each. On the Index Settings tab, there are two settings. You can turn on encrypted file indexing, and you can have similar words with diacritics, Those are things like accents and umlauts that appear above letters. Those words can be indexed as different words. You can force a rebuild of the index, so if something just doesn't seem to be working properly while searching, rebuilding the index may help. Be aware that indexing can take several hours, depending on how much you are indexing. You can specify a different location where Windows saves the index. On the File Types tab, you'll see a long list of file types. If there's a check mark next to that file type, it will be indexed. You can also choose if just the file properties, such as the file name, date, tags, and a few other pieces of data get indexed, or if the properties and the full contents of the file are indexed. JPEG files, for example, are pictures, so there's no text in the file contents to index. So for JPEG files, only the file properties are indexed. However, if we look at a text file, these are documents with words in the contents. So both the file properties and the contents are indexed. You can add an extension to this list and adjust what is indexed for each file type. Click back on the Advanced Options button. There are 3 options for searching of files in the non-indexed portion of your drives. You can turn these on or off. If you put a check mark here, that means the search in a non-indexed part of your computer will still include whatever you checked. For example, if you check file contents, now when you search non-indexed files, the search includes the contents of the files. Your search will probably yield more results matching whatever you search for, but the search will almost certainly take longer. Well, that's a tour of the search function in File Explorer. You can see that finding a file doesn't have to be difficult or frustrating if you know the search limitations and you format your search correctly. If you have questions and comments, please post those in the comment section below this video. And be sure to click the like button if this video helped you. There's still a few more odds and ends to cover before we wrap up this tutorial on File Explorer. Click the video here to access Part 5 now. You can view all of the Mom and Dad technology tutorials by clicking the playlist here. Click here to subscribe to the Nerd Sidekick channel to be notified of new videos as they are released. I'm Fred Kelly, your Nerd Sidekick, making you the technology hero.